Yo, it's your boy Logos, and tell when we react to this video from a channel that was recommended to me from a friend of mine. I know them from over 20 years. I'm only 26, so I know them for most of my life. He's an educated man. He's a very logical man, and I trust his opinions, and I also trust the stuff that he does send to me. And this video popped up talking about Jeffrey Epstein and the bakers, the corrupt crony capitalists, laughing about Jeffrey Epstein, which I find very interesting because I believe they got something to do with his death. But that's just my opinion. I'm always open about my tinfoil hat being on, and my friend who recommended this channel for me knows that. So let's see what they got to say, and let's see how evil these people really are.
This is very important. JP Morgan executives apparently joked about Jeffrey Epstein's behavior. This is from the lawsuit ongoing with the U.S. Virgin Islands and Jeffrey Epstein's estate. This is part of why, Crystal, I think that the Wall Street Journal scoop likely came from the Virgin Islands, because they have subpoena power and they have so much insight into what was going on behind the scenes. This one directly came out in a filing and shows you that JP Morgan Chase executives were joking, allegedly, behind the scenes about his interest in young girls while he was a client at JP Morgan and Chase, which directly contradicts the idea that, which they said, we had no idea who this guy was. We didn't know anything about him. He was, a part of our wealth management division in error. If we had known, we never would have done business. Well, as the Virgin Islands is alleging here, his behavior was so widely known that senior executives were literally talking about his interest in young girl behind the scenes. One of them is actually a woman in an email, or an email to a woman, the contents of which some are redacted, in which it was directly to somebody who runs the asset and wealth management division, and they are literally making private jokes about this. We don't have the exact text, but, look, again, how much more obvious do we have to get here?
For real.
And also, even within this, just the level of penetration that he has into some other rich and powerful people here. Look at this, Crystal. The U.S. Virgin Island is currently subpoenaing Google co-founder Sergey Brin, Hyatt Hotels founder Thomas Pritzker, some of former Hollywood super agent Michael Ovitz, the real estate mogul Mortimer Zuck. I mean, these are some of the richest and most powerful people in the world. The Google CEO?
Yeah.
Come on, man. The Google CEO here.
And call back to our last segment about the bank collapse and being bought up by JP Morgan Chase. Jamie Dimon will, in May, be deposed, despite attempts by the bank to prevent him from having to testify. The U.S. Virgin Islands complaint contains an internal communication which references a Dimon review into the relationship with Epstein, of which the bank says it has no record. So they want to find out, how high up did this go? What knowledge did Jamie Dimon have? What is this so-called Dimon review that the bank is denying ever happened or that they have no knowledge of, et cetera? So again, we were just discussing how Jamie Dimon, with this massive bank, which has had to receive an exception because they have so much of the deposits in the entire country, more than 10% of all U.S. deposits located now at this one bank, which has just become even larger with their takeover of First Republic Bank. Jamie Dimon, one of the most powerful people on the planet, also entangled in all of this.
Of course he is, and he's going to get deposed, and, is anything going to happen? This is what I always hear from people, why they almost don't want to get interested, because I feel this way too. I've been doing this now for 3 years, how long we've been covering this story. And every time I'm like, man, this is crazy. And then nothing changes. Nothing happens. We're covering this Virgin Islands suit for a long time. Virginia Giuffre, apparently there's been some issues there, behind the scenes too, in terms of some of the things that were happening. In that case, now, in reference to this one, the CIA director. But, here's what I would wish. I hope that somebody asked the White House press secretary and just be like, hey, why did your nominee have a dinner with Jeffrey Epstein on 3 separate occasions? Do you have any comment on that for the CIA director? Do you think that that looks good or is acceptable conduct for?
Honestly, in my opinion, I don't have the exact list, of course, of the people that are allowed on White House press conferences. But I would just expect or assume that any person that would have the balls to ask that question, they're not being allowed to speak. These people are picking and choosing specific media people to go and be a part of these meetings or listen to them talk and say this nonsense about the country, and they choose them specifically about the questions they're allowed to ask. At least that's just what I think.
For the Biden administration. But this is the other problem with the press, is we learned all about that ABC News report. Even the press themselves are compromised in many ways whenever it comes to this story. So
because,
who knows?
Because it touches this was how he protected himself for so long, because he has so many rich, famous, powerful people who are connected and ensnared in ways that are very embarrassing for them. So there's a, all elite effort to make sure that none of this ever comes out. And kudos to the U.S. Virgin Islands for pushing some of this forward.
Well, I mean, they're the ones who got the most screwed really out of this and had some of the most heinous acts most likely perpetrated on their soil.
That's exactly right.
That's a really good video. I do appreciate my brother for recommending this channel for me, because in my opinion, I think they covered this story very fairly. I think most people don't think Jeffrey Epstein offed himself. I think we can all agree that it's a conspiracy, and you don't have to be Alex Jones or anybody like that to think it. To be honest with you, I've been watching Alex Jones since, I don't even know now what, at least almost 10 years at this point, before he was all on Trump, before all that stuff happened. And honestly, he was talking about Jeffrey Epstein and people in powerful positions doing mess up stuff like this for a very, very long time. And in my opinion, it's not just government people, it's everybody that's in powerful positions. Music, movies, Hollywood, the government, just so many areas where you can get money at, and then you get yourself attached to these other people that have money. Sometimes these people may have these sacred fetishes. Other times they could just be doing it to trap you and make sure that you do what they say. I don't know, these people are very evil and messed up in my opinion, and I really don't understand how any person could think that Jeffrey Epstein off himself, especially all the evidence and the circumstances that we know about his imprisonment. I think that they tried to do everything they said they did everything they could to make sure he couldn't do it. That just means they took out maybe some stuff, but they sent somebody in to really get the job done. These people try to cover the track the best they can, but you can't just kill somebody like Jeffrey Epstein when this stuff has been broken. It's making, I don't know, major news now. And the thing is too, like, it's making major news in such a way that's to protect them. Like, they'll tell you about Jeffrey Epstein and stuff they did, but they'll sugarcoat it and make like a bullshit Netflix movie, but they say he just did this, that, and the other, and they try to act like they don't know who exactly he was talking to. There's a whole flight list. Like, that's the thing. You could go online and you could find some of the flight list stuff for yourself. Bill Clinton, other powerful people has been known and just, verified to been talking with Jeffrey Epstein and going to the island. I can't remember what exactly it's called, Juanita Express, and I think Pedo Island, or there's another name for it. But yeah, it's in the Virgin Islands, and all this crazy stuff been happening for years, decades. And these people at JP Morgan and Chase, I think Morgan Chase, they have so much, I don't know, arrogance to just laugh about it and talk about it in emails, and they think it can't get hacked. Like, seriously, they're not afraid of stuff leaking out. They're just so arrogant and think nothing will happen to them. They can talk about it openly, or at least just open enough where it could be recorded, saved, and pulled up in court. These people are sick. But I don't know. I saw a comment before I started the actual video saying, when this corruption is so deep, how can we even fix it? And honestly, I don't know what to tell you at that point. I'm not a guru. I don't have future sight. Only thing I can do at this point right now, at least, is call out the bullshit and say why it is. But as long as we get enough people doing it, at least these sick fucks won't be able to walk free. At least that's how I feel about it. If we don't say nothing about it, or at least make noise about it, nothing's going to happen. These people are so arrogant now because they've been doing it for so long. Who knows how many generations this shit been going on for? We can't imagine it, but at least now we're finally getting it leaked out. And that's probably, and partially because of technology. Also because people don't trust the media. That's why you have channels like this growing. They're almost getting 1 million subscribers. Go and check them out. They call it Breaking Points on YouTube. I think they had 949,000 subscribers. And so far they seem pretty honest and good to me. But another place I really like is Jimmy Dore. I've been watching Jimmy Dore since like 2019 or definitely 2020. But he's very on point. Funny enough, he's a comedian. And his the little phone interview like little skits he does with this guy who like mimic people voices, like presidents and media people and people involved with politics. That shit is very fun to me. So you like that type of stuff mixed with your politics, check out Jimmy Dore. But those are two channels that I trust so far with giving me information. Even though I might not completely agree with the politics, I still trust enough of what they're saying to make my own opinions and still do further research myself. And that's what we all got to do. It's your boy Logos, and I'll talk to you next time. Peace.